Hey guys, Ike here from Ike'sOutdoors.com. This video is going to cover a couple days. I've just got in on a lease here on both sides of this road with C&L Outdoor Adventures, and this is a hunting club. And I've had a hard time finding private land to hunt, so I've explored this route and I finally decided that this is what I want to do. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time scouting, and I'm going to take you guys along with me in this video to show you what I'm doing and what I'm looking for. Right now you can see it's about sunset. I've got corn on this side of me, and I've got an open pasture on this side of me with tree lines on both sides and cattle in here. So the first thing I'm doing, I've looked at aerial photos. I know how the tree lines lay. I drove around this, up and down this road to kind of see how the land lays. I know there's a creek behind me. I know what's all around me. So now it's time to start exploring this piece of property, and the first thing that I'm doing is coming over here and glassing. I want to make sure, I want to see, if I can see where the deer are coming out, then I know where they're entering this pasture over here. Now the corn's still standing, so it's going to be kind of tough to get in there, but what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to come out here and probably set up on this side and do a little bit of dove hunting, because I got this corn right here. I'm going to try to catch some dove, come into this corn and do a little bit of hunting while I'm in here, and then after I kill a few birds, if I can hit them, I'm going to hit to the tree line over there and do just a little bit of scouting real lightly, because we're about 2 weeks from season right now. So I'm going to do real light scouting, and mainly I'm going to use aerial photographs and these right here. So like I said, this is C&L Outdoor Adventures. We're going to put a link up on our page, and you guys will be able to follow me all through the year as I hunt with these guys on this land. And like I said, in this video, it's going to cover the next 2 or 3 days of me just scouting here and prepping some tree stand sites. Okay, so the sun's going down now. This is still our first night out here, and it's getting a little dark to film. It's getting a little dark to glass too, but I've got another creek. There's 2 creeks that flow through this place. Turkey hunting here this spring is going to be awesome. We've got beans. We've got soybeans in here. There's also a big hill out here with a couple silos on it. So just by driving around, I've gleaned a lot of information about this land. I know there's 3 or 4 big white oaks on a tree line back here in the back. So I've got a lot of good information just from driving around here and doing a little spotting, even though I haven't seen any deer yet. I think if I get over here a little bit earlier and come in here and sit on top of that hill up there, maybe even climb up inside of them silos if they're safe, I could do some spotting and see this whole creek bottom. And with a good set of optics like these, I'd be able to really pattern a deer. So first night, I'm gathering information, just visual information, and filing it all in my head, or I'll probably go home and dig out a journal and write that down. Like I said, I've seen 3 big white oaks down there, 2 creeks. There's going to be a lot of water oaks in here, soybeans here, soybeans there, corn back here, but the corn is stunted and short, and they're probably not even going to harvest it. They might harvest it for silage, but more than likely they're probably just going to come in and plow it under. I doubt that the farmer's even going to waste time plowing it, because it ain't 3 or 4 foot tall. So I've got a lot of good information just from driving around and spending 20-30 minutes out here doing a little bit of glassing. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to head back to the house, and then we're going to get up in the morning and come out here about daylight. Okay, so we're back home, and as you can tell by looking behind me, we just got done filming some new breed stuff. And while we had the camera out, I thought I'd go ahead and take advantage of it and continue with this webisode on scouting a little bit. And one of the most useful tools in this modern world for scouting is right here, laptop. With C&L Outdoor Adventures, they have maps, topographical maps, as well as aerial photos of all their property with markings for gates, roads, boundaries, tree stands, tower blinds, things like that. So what I'm doing right now is we're getting ready to head out in the morning, and I've reserved my spot with this club. I reserved this spot, and I've got the whole section to myself, so I won't have to worry about anybody else being in there. And the nice thing about this is I've got an aerial photo here, and I drove out there tonight and we did our scouting, so I know that this field right here that I'm looking at, and I'm not going to show the map just because of privacy issues. I don't want y'all to know where I'm hunting when I kill a big buck off there. But I know by looking at this map that this field here in this aerial photo is a bean field, and I know that there's a spring. I can see the spring running right through here, and when I switch over to the topographical map, I can see that right here in this corner it gets high and it falls toward the creek, just like you would expect. It falls down toward the creek, and it forms one of the few really nice, high, thick bedding areas. So I got an idea going right in to this of where a bedding area is. And I know that the corn down here is stunted, and I know that the beans up in this are a good spot for deer, so I know right away that there's going to be deer probably coming off the top of this hill, coming right down into the corner of this bean field. So we're in several different places there, so I know right away when I go in tomorrow to do my scouting which area interests me the most. So I can go in with a minimal amount of disturbance, with a minimal amount of scent. I can go to an area that I think I can check out, I can confirm my suspicions, and once I've done that, I can back out. I've already got a game plan just by looking at this map. So the next thing to do is get up at about daylight in the morning and slip on the old walking boots and hit the trail. Alright, so what I've done this morning is I got out here pretty early. I've been out here since dark, and what I've done is I've walked in this tree line, in this fence line here behind me, and I'm using that for a couple different reasons. I don't want to walk out in the bean field, scare off deer, and walk through a farmer's crops. The second reason is it provides me with good cover and gives me a little bit of a chance to check out this tree line, you know, without disturbing too much. So I parked way over there and dropped in on this corner and walked all the way around to the back side of this bean field where I can see everything. This does a couple different things. I'm looking for different things. I'm looking for the lay of the land. Got a big hill behind me here, the valley right here in the center. It goes up into another big hill. I also found an old drainage, or an old small little creek bottom that goes right out into the bean field, and it's deep enough that deer could actually get down in it and walk right out into the bean field without being hardly noticed. It gives me, I got a good vantage point here so I can watch these beans too, but it gives me an idea of what kind of trees are in here. I got a huge oak right here behind me, so I'm taking advantage of scouting. I'm not just looking for deer, I'm looking for everything. You know, I'm looking for, when I came in this morning, I was paying attention to what dogs were barking. If I park there and walk down this road, how many dogs are going to start barking? And luckily for me, there was none. So, what kind of people are up at that time of the morning? You know, at 6 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, and there was nobody there. One car did pass me and pull into their driveway. So, you kind of got to know the routine of everything around you, not just the deer. So if I go in here and all the dogs down this mile section start barking and start raising a whole bunch of noise, I know I probably don't want to walk in that way. So I'm taking everything into account here. You know, I equate scouting to being a general. You're planning for war. You got to find your attack point. You got to focus in on it, and then you got to move from there. So I'm out here making war plans, is what I feel like, and that's one of the reasons I love scouting. It really, I love it when I can go out and kill a deer, and it brings all this work, brings it all to fruition, you know, makes it worth spending my time out here. But it's a plan that has a good ending most of the time. So, you know, when I scout, I got a couple things on me. I use my lockdown here. It's a good set of binoculars, because this field's, it's a long way back to that corner back there, and so I use a good set of optics and a good carrier like these lockdowns, because if you got to carry these big binoculars all day, or hang them off your neck with one of them cheap straps, you know, that ain't worth a darn. So I use this lockdown or a bino system, you know, anything like that's good. Carry a knife with me always. Anytime I'm out in the field, I carry a knife. And what I've got with me today is just my utility knife. It's just my Ike's Outdoors Benchmade that they made for me. So I always carry a knife. Of course, cell phone, just in case I get into trouble. Mine's got a GPS on it, so just in case I get lost. And keys, wallet, hunting license. Gotta have your hunting license while you're here. The most important thing that I carry is this right here. This is my hunting journal. It goes plumb back to 2009. And this is a Right in the Rain waterproof journal. We'll continue to do some scouting here and take some notes, and hopefully we'll see some deer come out into this bean field. Well, I stumbled on some deer, not where I thought they would be. Just goes to show you all that maps and stuff. They may not help you. I really figured the deer would be over on that side bedding up and working onto that side of the field. I just had 2 fawns here, and one of them, it was pretty exciting, one of them come running right out at me. And I couldn't get the camera turned on soon enough, but she came running right toward me and got within about 15 yards of me before she spotted me and took off. But I didn't want to get in here and scare deer, but that's what I've done. That's why I came to this side, is because I didn't want to scare deer. But they didn't blow. They didn't really know I was here. They knew something wasn't right, but they didn't really know what was going on, you know. But 2 fawns broke out this way. Several does down in the field. Just kind of eased off into this corner. So I'm going to slip down over this hill now and see if they're still down there in that corner. That surprises me to see them over here. I really figured they'd be on the other side of the field. Just because you have a creek running across your place, don't discount any kind of water source. This is a small, dry little pond, but you can see the deer tracks here, and yeah, they're old, but there are deer tracks there. Let's go see what we got over here. A lot of tracks there. And with this mud, it's hard to tell, you know, how big these deer are going to be. But there's deer in here. And they are hitting this pond. There's some more coon. That's a small deer there. That doe with some fawns. Big old toad, or a big old frog. Get bigger, buddy, and I'll eat those legs off of you. So, we got some deer hitting this pond up here, and lots of frogs, and lots of snakes. Lots of frogs in this muddy little pond. Look at all of them. Jesus. So, our little mud hole here is, right now, a pretty good source of activity. You can see, I see doe, I see deer, and I see coon, and I thought I even seen a coyote track back there, but with these houses close, that sure could have been a neighbor dog as well. But there is a carcass right up the trail here too. So, well, it looks like that's it for our first webisode. This one's been all about scouting. Of course, we get into season here in a couple weeks. We'll be doing some deer hunting. Got some guys on our pro staff that are going to be contributing to these webisodes as well. So be sure to check us out. We're going to try to put up one every week, whether we get some kills or not. So, till next time, I'm Mike from Mike'sOutdoors.com. I'm going to go find my water bottle, get me a long swig of water, and head back to the house and some air conditioning. Appreciate you guys watching.